metal piston rings. Had 2 metal piston rings. I'm not sure. I don't have the Stuart number 9 assembly instruction manual or whatever. I sort of wish there was more PDFs out there of these motors, but nonetheless, the engine is running now. I had to basically grind and polish the main piston rod entering the cylinder barrel. I put on 1 piston ring because the metal of the rings was fresh. I don't think this engine ran at all other than hand cranking, and just by looking at the piston rings and the amount of wear on them. So I polished up 1 piston ring, and it's sliding a lot better than rough cast. He didn't really polish the edges or chamfer them or anything like that, so I refined the piston ring. I'm going to put in the second one in another day or 2 probably, after I run it on steam. And I oiled up everything, and let's get it started here. See if we can start it halfway. There we go. Now this is only about 5 psi on air, and that's why I want to try steam. I want to make sure that I've got most of the leaks taken care of. I added this on because of the fact that it wasn't even a running engine pretty much. It hadn't been run. I soldered this up to his nice, sort of nice made flange, and I didn't get it in the threads, so I can remove that at any time. I was just, after fixing so many things, I just thought I'm not going to make one from scratch. So there we go. I remachined the governor spindle so that it would spin properly. It was not really working, I don't think. And now I can actually engage the valve and disengage the valve. So that's wide open now. And then as I lift up the governor carefully against the spring, it closes the valve. Now I can adjust it so that it shuts it off completely, but I didn't think that would be a good idea. So there we are, full speed again at 5 psi. Running pretty good, but the crank is bent, mostly at this end, which you can see there, because the flywheel is very true. It's very close to the edge there, and it doesn't really have any wobble to it. So the hit was on the other side, as you can see, looking across at it this way. So I need to get a new crankshaft to make this perfect. And I might look for one, if I can find one machined, because I can't do it on my lathe, really. It's just too much of a hazard. My lathe is just slipping and all kinds of problems like that. So nonetheless, the engine is running. Very, very happy about that. Great deal, and working governor. Now we just have to get the band, the actual pulley for the governor. I have some metal ones coming, as well as I can get some O-rings if I want, but I'm going to try the metal pulley first, that you twist together and make custom lengths of, and see if that works well. So there you go, that's a Stuart number 9, 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch bore and stroke. Should be more powerful than the SIPs, just by the size of the piston. And with the governor, it should be maybe even a working engine if I can get a new crankshaft. But it's a nice engine, pretty well made. Cross slides need more machining, can't tighten those down yet. The movement of the rod here is still binding when these are tightened down completely, so he didn't really machine enough out of them, I don't think. Well, 3 hours later, I have fabricated some piping for the engine. And tried to go around the form of the engine and have a drainage spot in the front for display if I wanted to put it on display. And you could put a small brass steam condenser in the front of the engine there at the bottom, or run that pipe off to a larger condenser like we will be on steam tomorrow. Hard silver solder, jewelry silver solder, the expensive stuff. No plumbing solder. And I used the oxyacetylene jeweler's torch for that so that I wouldn't mess up those nice flanges, which are sort of rough and ready. The whole engine is rough and ready, but it doesn't make that clickety-clack sound that a lot of engines make that I look at on YouTube. And it almost seems like it's supposed to be a clackety-clack sound, but it's really not supposed to be a clackety-clack sound. Steam engine should be like a dog panting, and a good steam engine will sound like a dog panting, and not in distress, but just in a good way. So the number 9 is running. Very low pressure on this air pump. It's quite a low volume air pump, so we will get it out on steam tomorrow, maybe up to 30 psi, and see if the governor actually works, if I can get a band for it.